It was 2 a.m. Our family was rudely woke up by the two Russian soldiers armed with rifles and were told to pack a few things and we would return in a few days. We were all loaded in the boxcars, hundreds of us, and traveled by train to Arkhangelsk, Siberia, 2,000 kilometers from home. The conditions was very bad. If someone died, the soldiers would throw the bodies off the train. I had a choice, school or prison. Of course, I should choose school, but it didn't last long. Our language teacher said to us that there's no God. I was so mad that I stood up and said out loud, "Yes, there is, or else we would not be alive today." The Russians forced me back to work in the bush camp, but I refused and was put in jail. 3 days later, I was let out to tend to my brothers and sister. Over the next 6 months, I spent more time in jail for stealing food from the government fields just so we could survive. A year and a half later, the Polish people that were sent to Siberia received amnesty. My father and brother registered with the Polish army. This made my mother very happy because now they wouldn't go hungry. Now it was just my mother, sister, and myself. Once again, we were loaded in the boxcar and started heading south. It took almost a year. Many people died from hunger and typhoid. By February 1942, we arrived in Tengeru, Tanganyika province, now Tanzania, where we lived for 5.5 years. For the first time, our emotions were from mad to happy. These years were good. Word came that my mother, sister, and I would be traveled to England to meet up with our father and brother, who were stationed with the Polish army. It has been 6 years since we saw them after leaving Siberia, and we were happy to be reunited. It was there that my sister and I met up with our future husbands. My uncle was in the Sioux since after World War I. He made the papers for us to come to Canada. We said our goodbyes and sailed to Canada in the hopes of starting a new, better life. We sailed to Halifax on the Aquitania, then traveled by train to Montreal, finally arriving in the Sioux in early 1949. Finding work was very difficult because we didn't speak English, but we eventually found jobs as housekeepers at the private home. We were able to sponsor our future husbands, and when they arrived, we got married. After a few years of struggling, finding work, learning the language, and building a house, we had 2 girls and 2 boys. We had a good life together, and to this day, I thank God. My husband passed away 10 years ago, and people ask me, "Aren't you afraid of living alone in that big house?" My response is, read my story.